Welcome to Accounting Procedures. I want to share with you some beginning information that I hope will help you understand how this class will run and get to know me a little bit and just kind of introduce you to the Blackboard site and other information about the class. So first, and sorry, my selfie on the left is just taken in the lab. This is a Saturday for me and a nice quiet time for me to make a recording in the lab. So I also didn't have anyone else to take my picture. I only took a picture today because some of you might recognize me from the picture on the right, and over the break I decided to dye my hair. So I've had some people not recognize me. So there you go. Hopefully that won't be too disturbing for anyone. Next, I'd like to talk about our textbooks. And in your email that you received from me, you've already read about this, but I did check in the bookstore this week, and I noticed that the books were gone. The textbook on the left was gone, and I'm positive they have more reordered. And they were still waiting for some study guides to appear. And study guides did show up this week, so I imagine that you guys who have ordered those have them on the way. If you haven't yet received your textbooks or purchased your textbooks, this is what you're looking for. So the book on the left is a regular textbook that has the information that we're going to study and read about and learn about, and the study guide and working papers is where we'll actually pencil and pen write out our problems and work on problems with accounting. Now I chose on purpose not to have another online resource for this class. There is a free space that we will use that you can get into the McGraw-Hill website for this textbook that has some tools in it, but I feel like you guys pay a lot of money for your books, and I didn't want to add to that by an online component. So we're going to attempt this online class without that online component, but I'm sure it's going to be just fine. So I guess I'll ask for your patience as we work through this. So let's take a look at the course and look through some of the things in the course so far. There's not much loaded yet as we go. Of course, I'll load every week, but just to show you where things are. So first, on the left-hand side is your navigation bar. Once you're into the class, this will always show up. The navigation bar is where you're going to pop in on a regular basis and check out what's new in announcements, and then you'll flip into your assignments usually. So let's just walk through everything. So now we're on the announcements page. That's self-explanatory. Those will change every time I have either loaded a new assignment or graded, just a place for me to keep you up to date. The contact information is how to reach me, and also I've listed one of our lab assistants here on campus who could probably give you a hand if you're not able to reach me, or if nothing else, she's going to know exactly where to find me and how soon I'll be available and whatnot. Now on my contact information, please notice my office hours are Monday and Wednesday from 1:30 to 3 and Thursday from 1 to 3. I do spend much more time than that in my office, and you are welcome to email and phone in here anytime. When you leave messages on my office phone, they go to my email, which I check when I'm not at my desk anyway. Now I have left you my cell phone number. Please treat that with respect. But if you are stuck, let's make an example. If you are stuck on a problem and you're working on a weekend and you'd like to talk to me, it's okay with me if you would maybe send me a text and ask if there's a time that we could talk. There are some problems that I could maybe even help you out with a text message. So, you know, most of us carry our phones a lot, and I do too. So just if I don't answer, I will tell you why, or if I'm in the middle of something. But it would be nice if you identified yourself and then just asked when we could how soon it would be till I could talk or get to an email. Your questions over email are usually more complete and easier for me to answer. Then last in the little section here under me is Blackboard IM. I really utilize Blackboard IM, and as I go through the rest of the stuff for this class, I'll show you where that is. I hope that you load that on all the machines that you use. It is like having instant messaging between me and your classmates, and it can be a wonderful tool. So please do plan on loading that. You can load it on all the machines that you use, and you can even install it here in the lab. The only bummer kind of thing about installing it here in the computer lab is you'd have to install it every time you sat down, but if you were going to be there for a few hours, it might be worth your time. Alrighty, moving on to course information. The syllabus for the course is loaded here first, and the syllabus contains all the details about the class and more information about the course and the purpose of the course and our objectives and so on. Please read this carefully. This is going to give you a nice snapshot of what the course is going to be like. Also, this grading plan, as you look at the grading plan, this is my first time teaching this in an online format, so I'm not 100% sure of how things will go, so that's why I've listed this method of evaluation as tentative, but I do, it's pretty close to what I'm fairly sure I will be running with. So as this might change, I would definitely alert you through the announcements, and if I change anything drastically, I would send you a new syllabus. All right, moving on. The tentative schedule for accounting procedures is also listed as its own link on the course information page, and this truly is tentative. When I have taught this class in the classroom, I have kept the theory that I don't want to move forward until I feel like everybody understands what we're working on now. That is so important for at least the first 5 chapters of this class, because the first 5 chapters build on each other, and if you do not understand chapter 2, chapter 3 is impossible, and if you don't understand chapter 3, chapter 4 is really, everything just gets harder and harder because you didn't grasp what's happening at the beginning. So I will take extra steps toward the beginning of the class to make sure everybody is on the right page and everybody is understanding what they're doing with the problems and so forth. And we will work a lot of problems at the end of the chapters and in the study guide, and those will be that will be how you know that you understand what you're doing. All right, then a little bit lower down here, I'm still in course information. A little bit lower down here under the tips and tricks is a copy of my initial email. Those of you that were registered for this class as of today, Saturday the 10th of January, you received this email. If you registered for this class after that, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, then you will need to refer to this initial email here. Okay, back up to the rest of the tools. So we just finished course information, now on to assignments. The only assignment here is getting started. And you are now watching the introductory video. And you need to go to the discussion board and introduce yourself. This is a 5-point activity. It's very quick. Please do attach a picture if you want to, and talk to a couple other students if you don't mind. Then notice there's a getting started quiz. The quiz is under tests and quizzes over here on the left. It is only a 5-question thing, and really most of it is your opinion, so you can't do too poorly on this. Plus you can retake it as many times as you need to, so you start off this first week with all 5 of those points. 10 points really when you add in the discussion board. All right, now moving down to tools. Now, the tools that you see on my screen are surely different from the ones you see on yours, but I want to point out two things. The two things that you guys are going to be connecting to in this tools area are your grades, and it doesn't matter if I click on it or not. I have no grades since I'm the instructor, so there's no point in me looking there. But when I do grade homework, you'll see the grades pop into this area. And then Blackboard IM, this is where you click and then install the Blackboard IM program, the instant messaging program on your computer. All right. Then back to tools. I think we probably will use Blackboard Collaborate, and that is where we can have group meetings, and we can, especially maybe I can have a review for a test, or we can go over problems together. I don't really know exactly how those will get scheduled, but that's the vehicle I will use for doing that. So after tools, we have student resources, which takes you to our college website and shows you the different offices that are important to you. Okay, and then the last thing is the course evaluation, and that won't be available until the end of the course. All right, so then back to the end of my presentation here. Okay, so we were talking about the syllabus and the schedule and all of the information that's inside your shell, your Blackboard shell. So a couple more things to talk about. We're going to be needing to use Excel to do some of our homework. Toward the beginning, we're going to handwrite most of our stuff, but if you are already really familiar and really good at using Excel, which I know a lot of you are, then it will be fine for you to do your homework in the Excel rather than handwriting things on the papers in the study guide. This semester will be kind of a test to see if we can live without the study guide in the future. But so far, my colleague and I who teach this class both agree that handwriting and working out problems on paper seem to be the best method for grasping accounting. And I think you'll understand as we get going. Back to Excel though, if you use a Mac and you use the numbers program instead of Excel, it really doesn't matter, and it really doesn't matter which version of Excel for the things that we're going to do, because it's really just going to be plugging numbers into columns, adding and subtracting some very basic stuff. Okay, so then next, Blackboard IM. We already discussed that. It's an instant messenger for Blackboard users, and it connects us with our classmates. You're going to like that. And materials that you will need, your favorite pencil, your favorite eraser, a ruler or a straight edge, and I can't think of anything else that you really need. Well, you know what? You probably want to have a calculator if you plan on doing your homework away from a computer, which I anticipate that you will want to do. This will be kind of a nice online class in that you don't really have to be in front of the computer to do all of your work, just your discussion boards, and then upload your files. We'll figure out the best way to upload each one of our chapter homework files as we go. Sometimes it's going to be easy to have me just have me ask you some specific questions on what your answers are in certain areas, and sometimes I'm going to maybe want some scanned copies of your homework or photos of your homework, just so that I can make sure that you're on the right track. But I have some surveys coming out for you soon to find out what tools you guys already own. Like if taking pictures or scanning documents is like super easy for you, that's what we're going to do. But if that's a big headache, then we're going to figure out a different method. Okay, the note here about required for OAS majors. This accounting class is required for OAS majors. It has been for about the last 4 or 5 years. The reason this class is required is because when we look at job requirements for office professionals, we're finding that QuickBooks and accounting skills are very much needed in the offices that hire our graduates. And QuickBooks is a class that you could take following this class, and it would teach you the electronic side of accounting. But without the basic knowledge of accounting, you're not allowed to really be in the QuickBooks class. I think maybe one of you got permission to be in QuickBooks this semester. Maybe a couple of you have permission to be in QuickBooks, but it's our hope that you have had this class before you take QuickBooks. Anyway, I would recommend that you look at taking the QuickBooks class after this, and it is Accounting, I think 2110. I can't remember exactly, but it's from the business department, and the first 4 letters of the course number are ACCT. We can talk about that more as we go. And then last, what this class isn't. I always like to make sure that you guys realize that this class is made for an Associates of Applied Science in Office Information Systems. This class does not transfer to UW as an accounting class. It will only be extra electives if you transfer it to another school. We developed this class just for our students. It's typical in a 2-year institution to have specific courses like this that are helpful for the people that we are training to go to work, but not necessarily helpful for you to go on and become a financial analyst. Okay, so if someone asks you the difference between accounting procedures and accounting principles, in a nutshell, the difference is in accounting procedures, you're learning how to be the office worker that deals with accounting, that receives money, that does payroll, that pays bills, runs the checking account for a business. So you're the person with your hands on in the money part of a business. Accounting principles is from our business department and an accounting transfer class. That class is built for business majors and finance majors and people who are going to go on to be administrators or financial planners or accountants. And perhaps think of them as the boss of who we are being trained to be. All right, so just to throw that out there, making sure you know, I have had several students in the past know that they had a big interest for the accounting world but didn't have any background whatsoever, didn't do anything like this in high school. So to help them get their feet wet a little bit, they took accounting procedures and then went into accounting principles 1 and 2, and then hit the trail of accounting courses that transfer. So it's accounting is accounting. Anyone will tell you that. The rules that we use and the financial statements that we make and the information that we learn about transactions are the same in this class as they are in a principles class. It's just we do more of the hands-on side of the paperwork and the reporting and the transactions and the journal entries. Well, we do more of that hands-on than perhaps the accounting principles class does, and the accounting principles class moves much further into more detail. Way more topics are covered in that class. All right, I wish you the best, and I hope that this video has helped you get a little bit acquainted to the class. I apologize for the length. I didn't mean for it to be this long. My intention was 10 minutes. So I will do better in the future when I make videos that they are not this long. Do look for Friday to see more information about what you should be doing for Chapter 1. I do want to take this Monday through Thursday to kind of get our feet wet and make sure everybody's up and running and has the materials and has done the introduction. And then on Friday I'll post your homework assignment, which will be Chapter 1 in the book. And when you look in the study guide, there's no problems to complete. This is more of a theory chapter. So if you want to start reading that now, by all means, get going. And you'll see more information on Friday.